All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We have Thursday nights with Mel, Doerr, and myself. How you doing, Mel?
I'm good, Kevin. I got a little sty on my eye, but other than that, I'm all good.
Nobody would have even noticed if you didn't point it out. Just saying.
Well, in that case, I don't have a sty on my
You don't.
I haven't
Besides
had
that,
one of
you're
those
doing
things.
good.
I'm sorry?
So besides that, you're doing good.
Yeah, I haven't had a sty in years. They're predicting a major snowstorm tonight and running through Saturday. We're going to have a cold front. It's going to be Arctic, but
Yeah.
they predicted one for, the beginning of this week or last week or whatever. They said, 6 to 12 inches. And we knew maybe one or two.
But we just had a bad storm that came up through here. There's a couple big storms. We didn't get snow, although other people got snow from it, but I think we were on like the outskirts of it. But I had a tree fall down. I mean, I lost power. We had like 60-mile-per-hour winds.
Ooh.
And it's supposed to pick back up, I think, tonight. And then I think next Monday, Tuesday, we're supposed to get that Arctic blast.
Yeah, we're going to get it too. It's going to get down to like -3 or something. But I've seen in Chicago like 10 below, or the coldest I can remember was when I first moved here in 1983, and it was like 20 below, and the wind was blowing at like 40 miles an hour, so the chill factor was like -50.
Oh wow!
Well, it was like brutal. I mean, we used to have brutal winters here, but they've been pretty mild lately. So
same here. I live right off of Lake Erie, so we get the lake effect snow.
Yes, we do too. I live 10 miles, probably about 10 miles west of Lake Michigan, and we still get lake effect snow. So
yeah, depending on probably how it's blowing, right?
Yep, it does. Anyway, so here we are.
Lots of stuff going on in the world, right?
Lots of stuff. So, all right. So shall we get started?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be doing political current events. So if anybody has any questions, I started how you send a question, or not started, but I pinned in the chat. Just send your question in all caps with a couple heart emojis, and we'll get to as many as possible.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put. I'm sorry, Kevin. I didn't mean to put that up.
But hey, we can Debbie Freebird.
I'm sorry.
Debbie Freebird's in the chat.
Debbie Freebird. I have been using your cards on my channel. Let me just plug Debbie's cards. Hold on. These are amazing. They're just so pretty. And here they are. And they got, they're really cool. Each one has like a little different thing on there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're really neat. She gave me these when I was in Sedona. And thank you so much, Debbie. They're awesome. And everybody go over to her channel, thumbs up, like, and get these cards. Contact.
Yeah. I need to get some of Debbie's cards.
Check them out. Really, really good. I think it's www.freebirdspirit.com. So, anyway. Hi, Deb. Infomercial.
Debbie's so sweet. I'm going to be on Debbie's channel next week, so I'm looking forward to that.
She's a sweetie. Anyway, the three of us should do a collab too, huh?
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
I think we should. All right. And we can all share in Debbie's cards.
I had to get some first.
Well, that's kind of cool because they come with like a little easel thingy here. And so you could put like a card out, which would be like thought for the day. So like this one would be like, oops, I'm all thumbs. Like sisterhood, brotherhood. And they said on this little easel thingy. It's kind of
you can do a bit of like a card of the day and hold it up on the easel for the day to remind you. I love that.
Message for the day. So
Debbie's saying, let's do it. We'll talk to Debbie next week. Maybe we'll get something set up.
I am ready for that. So Debbie, thanks. I use your cards a lot. I talk about them a lot. Look at the horse. Isn't that cool?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, the pictures are phenomenal. Look at the dog. Oh. Here. I love this one, the tree.
Yeah, I love the photographs of all of those.
Yeah, they're really cool. So, this looks like Chicago is going to look like.
Well, I think a lot of the U.S. was going to look like that.
Yeah, well, with this climate.
It's going to be cold. everywhere, even in the South. I've been saying that for a while. I feel very cold in the South, and it feels like the weather's just kind of weird and all over the place.
It
This
is. It's Earth Mother's way of saying,
trying to
you
wake us
know,
up, right?
she will correct herself. I'm telling you.
Let's take a look at because I did just hear about this before we went live. Nancy says missiles fired, some shut down. Breaking news with Yemen, Houthi rebels. What do you see?
Well, I see that conflict widening a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, you know, Yemen says the Houthi rebels or Houthi rebels, however you pronounce it, so they're doing it uh, uh, because the whole Israeli Hamas thing. But my guys are telling me that Putin is behind it with Iran. Putin wants to escalate it so he can get a lot of the rich Middle Eastern countries on his side, and he wants to control oil prices and shipping and get people afraid and cause supply chain shortage and
Yeah,
prices go up.
disrupt the trading routes.
Correct. And so he can get those. He wants those rich Middle Eastern countries on his side to help support his war against Ukraine.
Mhm.
But ultimately, he will not succeed. So I do see it escalating, but I do not see it leading to a world war.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to be saying some of my 2024 predictions on my Tuesday show next week. And I did feel like tensions kind of escalating in the Middle East with Iran, but not getting to the point where it's, um, a full-on war, but definitely very, very tense. So I do kind of agree. I feel like it's slightly escalating. The U.S. and I think it was the U.K. Really wanting to make sure that those shipping lanes in the Red Sea are open and not disrupting those. So they're coming in really strong.
Yeah, they want to disrupt world trade, but
Mhm.
Putin's behind it. But
Oh, yeah.
he won't succeed. And Kevin, you said something before our show when we were talking about this. You said, yeah, it's election year and they want oil prices to go up
No,
and they
that too.
want the prices of goods to go up. They'll do anything to try to, to get Biden out of office, but they won't win.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Why don't you read it while I get a couple of these questions started, Mo?
Okay. Antonia Alvarez says, "Hola, Mel and Kevin. I love to see the two of you together. Oh,
No, thank
hola,
you.
Antonio. ¿Cómo estás? How are you? I live near the Rio Grande, which means big river. Uh, the Rio the Rio Grande River, the Rio Grande Valley in Texas. There is a cold front. Worry because the last time they had a bad winter, the electricity went off.
I kind of said it before the show. I do worry about Texas's infrastructure. I was picking that up earlier this year with the cold.
Well, when I read the question, when I saw it start, my light bulb went on, and I do see power outages in
Yeah, me
Texas,
too.
and
Unfortunately.
it's unfortunate. But it just continues to open everybody's eyes, or a lot of people's eyes, against against Abbott because he didn't
Hmm.
do anything to enhance the infrastructure down there. So
Absolutely. We're on the same wavelength here, Mel. I agree, and it does feel tough for Texas with climate stuff too. I think even next year, I do feel like there's some flooding, probably from a storm coming in.
um, yeah. I mean, they're going to have some record cold spells down there. So
Yeah. But it's with the weather acting up, it's just so important for us just to, have those necessities, being prepared for them, taking threats or like calls to evacuate seriously. And I mean that's just kind of going on globally right now. We have to adapt to the extreme weather and climate change.
well, it's our Earth Mother speaking back, and our Earth Mother will correct herself.
Hmm.
And Kim Copeland and I talked last night. I think you watched this, Kevin. Thank you.
Oh yeah,
Um, and
I have
Kim,
Kim on my channel next week too.
she's a sweetie. I just love her.
Yeah.
But she was saying, it's all about where our hearts are, and I think the majority of us want to protect our Earth Mother.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to start speaking up to protect the Earth Mother and force these politicians who are raping the planet and these companies to listen to us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Well, the weather's waking people up. It's bringing in that awareness that we need to make changes.
And it's going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, it's going to be a bit tough. Debbie said that those cards that you showed were Kim from Intuitive Views. Her
oh, I'm
cards are out
sorry.
of stock.
Kim from Intuitive View. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, I thought they were Debbie's. But okay, Kim, thank you.
But
Well,
I'm sure when Debbie, her cards come back into stock, I'm sure they'll probably sell out quickly again.
we can have Kim too. How's that? Sorry,
Oh,
Kim. I thought they were from Debbie, but they're really beautiful cards, and I use them a lot. So yay!
I love that. All right.
Sorry, Kim.
Oh, this is a good question. Do you feel like there's ever going to be trouble for the Heritage Foundation? They're MAGA, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if I feel like a lot of legal, but I almost feel like their power and influence waning in the coming years.
I see their investigations against them and their wings clipped. I see them losing a lot of funding, and they're going to lose a lot of power. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Firefly.
Super sticker.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Really appreciate it.
All right. I am oh, can I put this one up? This is funny.
Yeah.
Oh, this is really funny. I'm sorry I had to put it up. You want to read it or you want me to?
No, you can read it.
Therese Polkowski said, I'm being a little snarky here. Is Melania's mother going to rest in peace on the golf course too? I don't know. I see golf balls. What can I say?
You know what? It's I feel kind of bad for her with Melania losing her mom, and Trump's on the campaign trail. He's in court when he doesn't even need to be there. No support for his wife there, right?
Well, he tried to use the funeral as a way.
I heard that, but he's not required to be there, so that's really not an excuse.
Correct, but he was just using it to look good, I think, to his so-called constituents, but he didn't need to be here, so that backfired. And now he's in court today. He said, "Oh, the fraud's on, the fraud is on me. I didn't commit fraud. The fraud, that." I'm like,
I was so disappointed that the judge let him talk today after he said no.
Well, he did, but I think the judge wants to make sure that there's very little grounds for appeal. But we know Trump will appeal it. But Trump is going to lose big time.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to have to pay out a lot of that money, which is going to hopefully drain his pocketbook.
I don't even know if he has enough money to cover all the fees. I think he's going to have to sell assets.
I think, 376 million, he's going to have to sell a lot of assets.
Yeah. I think he has probably some, but I think he's going to have to sell some assets to pay for it. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it was, trying to be fair, but also he didn't need to, because he gave him ample time to agree to the terms, and he never did, because he wanted to turn it into a rally. He wanted to turn the courtroom into a circus. And the judge should have known better when he allowed it. That's exactly what he did.
Well, yeah, but I think the judge told Trump's lawyer, control your client. But in a way, I'm glad the judge did that, let him talk, because it shows how ridiculous Trump is and how stupid his argument was. He's going to lose big time.
No, I agree. I even said when she was going after, I think originally it was 250 million. I felt like, no, it's more than that.
His whole empire is going to crumble.
The IRS is coming next.
And they say about Hunter Biden, but they don't say anything about Trump. Trump, his color, his orange color looks pretty bad, but Trump is looking bad.
Oh, yeah. He's looked bad for a while. He's starting to get scared.
His health, he better watch it,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I felt a shift in his energy,
Why?
before, where it's more like delusional. I think when the state started trying to take him off the ballot and like trying to appeal for like the presidential immunity and for the states taking him off. There was a shift in his energy to like really fearful. Like I think he's starting to wake up to the realization that he's probably going to go to jail.
He's not going to get presidential immunity. It's not.
No, I agree.
Okay, I like this question. I've
Do you
answered
see
it.
former Capitol Police officer Harry Dunn winning his election for Maryland Congress? I do. I feel good about his chances, but I do feel like the primary, I think there's a lot of people in there. I think somebody else is going to give him a close run for his money, but I think he's going to succeed in it.
I see it too. And I see Wes Moore as president someday, governor of Maryland. I've always said it. Okay.
I think he would be great in Congress.
He would be. Ooh, somebody says hello from Montana, minus 15 right now.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds like Chicago. Okay. Here we go.
Hello, terrific twosome. Question. I know most are saying that the mortgage rates are going to go down. Do you see rates going down to 4% by summer or early fall?
I see them going down to 4 or 5%.
I think 5
on like a 10-year fix, and after they come down to 5% on a 10-year fix for maybe 6 months or so, then they'll come down to like 4 or 5 on a 20 or 30-year fix. So that's my prediction.
I do see it kind of gradually coming down throughout the year. It feels like it's like spring, summer. What do you know what the rates are at right now?
They're up
6.5%.
They're up. Yeah.
I feel them coming down to 5, and then maybe towards the end of this year, beginning of next, maybe around the 4-ish area.
It'll kind of jumpstart the housing market again. So. People are asking about the economy, but I don't see it going into recession or depression. No. I see the economy.
I haven't felt that either.
And the stock market is pretty good. So, all right, here we go.
8% rates for 30-year fixed. Oh, wow. I didn't realize they were that high.
Yeah, they'll come down, though.
Yeah, I see them coming down, too. Do you see Jeffries becoming president one day? I don't think Jeffries is going to be president.
Speaker of the House, but not.
Speaker, yeah. And that's where I see his legacy is like Speaker of the House.
Right.
I could be wrong. I don't know if I think he has high ambitions, but I don't know if like the presidency is. I mean, that's a lot of responsibility. Not to say that Speaker of the House isn't, but
I think he can handle it. He's really dynamic. But I keep saying Wes Moore. I'm telling you.
I think Wes Moore too, but I feel like he's out there a little bit. Maybe like 2032.
Right. Oh, Dan Finaldi's in the house. Hi, Dan.
Dan.
Dan is the one that helps us edit our comments and things.
Oh, nice.
Dan's a wonderful artist, by the way. His artwork's phenomenal. I think we've answered this one, but I'll put it up anyway.
New York, Letitia James made closing arguments in Trump's civil case. Any senses of penalty? Yeah, I think the judge is going to hit him hard. I don't know if it's exactly what she's asking for, but I felt like it was going to be more than the $250 million. I think she's going to get what she's asking for. Though.
She will. And, Trump will appeal it and try to take it through but through the courts, but it's not going to, he's not going to get another trial.
Mm-hmm.
And the appeals court, I think they're going to say there's no grounds for appeal. But what I see happening too in New York is Letitia James then referring it over to the state of New York for criminal prosecution. This is a civil case, but I see him.
I see criminal charges for the Trump work too.
Absolutely.
And the IRS, I feel, is coming after him too.
Oh, they talk about Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden paid his taxes. And you know what? But yet they don't say anything about, Trump frauding the government out of all that money. So
I love that he went to Congress yesterday. The Republicans were so shocked. And then the mic drop moment is kind of like Marjorie Taylor Greene started talking and he just got up and left. But then she did show his naked photos later on the day to get her revenge. She's disgusting.
Well, here you go. Sylvia.
Here we go. I feel him suing her and being successful with that.
He is going to sue her. In fact, when I read Sylvia's comment, I'm thinking, oh, there's lawsuits there because, she shouldn't be showing those. I mean, how did she get them? She got them illegally and she's going to be in trouble for that.
I think this is like the second or third time she's done it too. So I think she's just digging herself in a bigger hole.
Well, but how do you know it belongs to him anyway? It could be anybody's, you know what?
Well, right.
So
Probably is photoshopped, I'd imagine.
I could say something, but I want to go.
All right.
Okay. Here we go.
One more question. The GOP is always after charging Democrats for the very laws that they and their GOP and maggot pals break. Why are the Dems never going after Republicans breaking laws, lying, etc.?
Well,
They are. They are. I think the difference is that the Republican Party is so extreme right now and so vocal. But I do see the Democrats kind of gaining that fire and kind of matching the fire with the Republicans a little bit. We're going to see a lot of the young Democrats, and going up to the election, really taking a firm stance and calling out all of the Republican BS and hypocrisy.
I want to put this one up because I don't know what happened, but it's Diane Bark. I don't know. I didn't hear about it.
I don't know what that's about either.
It says, "What's your insight on Italy's Nazi salute that happened the other day? I thought Hitler was dead." Well, Hitler's dead, but anybody that does the Nazi salute, it really, oh my God, it just makes me so angry. My father fought in World War II.
Wow.
To stop Hitler, and many of my uncles did, and to end fascism and bigotry and all that stuff. And so any country or anybody that would kind of take a wink and a nod to a Nazi salute is horrible. But you know what? Trump did the same thing. Remember when those people were marching? So at some point, I see an end coming to this intolerance and this bigotry and this racism and this fascism. It will end at some point.
Yeah, I agree. Like we're seeing it all over the world, the rise in the anti-Semitic conversations and all of that. But I do agree. I do feel like things are a bit heightened with what's going on in the world, but I do see them calming down in the future and people really standing up for equality. And yeah, it's disgusting to see what's going on.
It's horrible. Sylvia, this is funny.
Guys, I'm telling you, Marjorie is stalking and obsessed with Hunter.
God. When I look at her,
thirsty.
When I look at Marjorie, thank God I'm gay. I mean, Hunter Biden wouldn't given her a second or a third.
Well, that's why he got up and left. He didn't want to receive any of her energy or even be in the room with her. I loved it.
Okay. This is a good one. Crazy Shark.
Go ahead and read it, Mel. I'm getting caught up with the chat.
Hi, Mel and Kevin. What do you see as the most popular job fields in a decade? A nanotechnology like nanobots, artificial intelligence, science, green energies. I see people on the moon again by probably the end of 2025, beginning in 2026. And they'll use that as an outpost to try to get people to Mars at some point. So a lot of science exploration coming, but popular jobs, I think, is going to be a lot of robot technology, artificial intelligence, that sort of thing. That's what I pick up.
Oh, I agree. 100%, Mel. I was going to say the same thing. And it's going to be really exciting, I think. Well, even this year, but going out a couple of years, all of the advancements in healthcare, progressing with that and the technology. I know a lot of people are kind of scared with the AI, but I do feel like it's a little bit of a rough start going in, but when rules and regulations are kind of put in place, and I do see them in place, it's here to stay. So we have to embrace it.
I see little nanobots, like the size of a human or something.
Yeah.
They're like little robots that can maybe identify cancer cells at some point and gobble those up.
Yeah.
And identify like kind of almost like antibodies work, identify like bacterial infections and gobble those up. It's going to be amazing what these little nanobots are going to be able to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was tapping into 2024. There's going to be a lot of really exciting healthcare advances. I'll get into it more next week, but
you know what? on our show next week, we can do some predictions for 2024 if you'd like.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. All right. There you go.
Hi, Mel and Kevin. Hi, everyone. Will Fani Willis have to hand off the case of election interference in Georgia? She's being accused of having a relationship with a prosecutor. Will it matter? I do feel like it's kind of like a hit job on her. And I feel like a lot of it's kind of the Republican smear campaign against her.
It
I don't
is.
think it's all
Yeah,
legit.
it is a hit job. So what if she is dating the person, which she's not? But this is typical Trump character assassination BS. You know, oh, she's going out with a guy. That's why they're against me. That has nothing to do with it. You know, even if she were dating the person and she's not, what would that have to do with Trump's case? Nothing.
Yeah.
But I don't see her having to hand off anything because they have no proof.
Yeah, I think it's going to be okay in the end, but it actually maybe it delays things in the trial a little bit because I do feel like there might be investigations into it. But
They will try.
Ultimately, wishes being fulfilled. So
they will try anything, but they're not going to succeed, right?
But I tell you that the January 6th case is happening. I think in March.
And I see, you know, the thing in Georgia coming to trial before the election, and I see him convicted in Georgia.
Oh, Georgia? Okay.
That's right.
I didn't get the clearest hit on that, but I do feel the January 6th will definitely be he'll be convicted before the election.
Fani's not going to be forced to hand off anything, and they might say that's grounds for appeal, but if they appeal it on that, they're not going to win. They try these stupid arguments and blaming stuff. You know, I think at some point what Fani's going to do after all this is over and done with is sue them for lying about her.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, and please make sure to hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe. Go over to Mel's channel and subscribe if you haven't already.
All right. And Debbie's
oh yeah, Debbie.
Okay, Sylvia Munoz. Go ahead, Kevin.
Republicans went pale when they saw Hunter Biden and his lawyers in the oversight committee. It's like they saw a ghost. Yep. They were shocked. Oh, and I can't remember the congressman's name, but really handed it to the Republicans. He said that he would vote for the contempt charges against Hunter if they put in the record all of the Republicans like Jim Jordan and Mo Brooks, Kevin McCarthy, who defied a subpoena for the January 6th. And, you know, they didn't add that in there, but really handed it to him.
Well, you know what?
Thank you.
You know, when those people defied those congressional subpoenas, I had said back then, if a Democrat had done that or an independent, oh my God, the Republicans would be on it like white on rice and want to indict them and this and that. And so now they're on Hunter Biden, but yet you're right, Kevin, they turn their heads on those.
I don't see the DOJ going after Hunter for contempt charges because he's made it very clear that he would testify publicly. He's been in the Capitol. He messaged the I don't remember what committee it was, but his lawyers messaged him several times and they never got back to him after Comer went on TV and said that he could have a public hearing. I don't see them going after him.
Well, they don't want to make it public because they know it's like Linda Grindle would say, it's a nothing burger. Where if it's done in private, they can kind of, you know, control.
Well, they can twist and manipulate everything that he says. And there's no, you know, that's what the Republicans like to do. They want it to be another Benghazi.
Well, it's not going to work. If they want, you know, I see a public hearing at some point and it's going to make them look completely stupid.
Well, I hope so.
Okay, here we go.
Go ahead and read it, Mel. I'm getting caught up in the chat.
Please ask about the problem of plastics in our environment. I just moved to a town that doesn't have basic recycling. I see, you know, legislation being passed where there's going to have all plastics are going to have be biodegradable, so they'll break down.
Mm-hmm.
And laws being passed in townships and things like that where they have to do recycling. yeah, these plastic in our oceans, it's killing the wildlife in the oceans and everywhere. So I do see legislation passed that's going to help clean up the plastic crisis,
Yeah. And
and
I agree. I think even going, it feels like it's a little bit out. I don't feel like it's happening this year or next year, but like within 5 years, it's going to be a major push to a green economy to get the environment all cleaned up. I almost feel like for the plastic now, yeah, there's some kind of biodegradable. Um, I think they're even researching, I think, with like algae to kind of get up a lot of the landfills. But I also feel like them changing plastic as it is now so that it is biodegradable.
well,
So there's going to be a lot of advances with that.
I see a return to glass, you know, uh,
Okay.
glass bottles you know, that if they're disposable, they can be melted and recycled. Years ago when I was a kid, all pop bottles and stuff were glass. And what you do is the store would charge you a deposit on them, and then you take them back to the store and you'd
Right.
get, your money back. So, um, I see a lot of, like these plastic containers where you put food in. A lot of places are starting to replace those with glass, and that's what I see.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I
well,
definitely feel like a lot of changes and a lot of energy being put into managing that. You know what? Can we before we get to any more questions? I haven't seen it in the chat, but let's talk about the caucuses coming up. We have Iowa next week.
all right.
What are your thoughts with that? Because well, Chris Christie dropped out, and I felt like he was. I feel Ron DeSantis is going to drop out soon too. I think after Iowa or after New Hampshire, but I do feel Trump's going to win in Iowa. But I do feel like maybe Nikki Haley overperforms a little bit. But I do feel like after New Hampshire, which I think she's going to do well in, I kind of see her fizzling out.
See, I don't know. I'm thinking she's not going to give up so easily,
Oh,
and sh and
I
she's
agree, but I think the votes, like all the momentum that she's building right now, starts to fizzle out.
and she she's very anti-Trump right now, even though
Mhm.
before she was for Trump. Um, I don't know. You know, uh,
I
at
don't see her as the nominee. I don't.
well, if Trump is the nominee, he's not gonna. I don't know what'll happen, but I'm just like I I always thought maybe another nominee. I could be wrong, but um,
I almost feel like he wins the primary, and then when it comes to the convention or right afterwards, he can't be on the ballot or something like that, or like he's not around. Maybe he still is on the ballot, and Republicans are kind of flustered and chaotic trying to fill that spot. Um, it feels something like that because I agree with that, but I do feel like he's going to win the primary.
well, yeah, he will in New Hampshire, absolutely. I didn't see the. I didn't. Somebody, Conchana Lyons asked if says, "Do we see the Ron and Haley debate?" No,
No,
because I watched Ron DeSantis on Morning Joe this morning a little bit, and I'm
mm.
like,
Did it
he
make you
has
want
some
to
good
vomit a
points
little
about
bit?
being anti-Trump. He's very anti-Trump right now, but I was like,
Well, I give him a platform. I
I
saw
can't
it too.
stand, yeah, I
I
can't stand him and whatever.
I was I think there were a lot of unloving vibrations spewing from my mouth when I saw him on
Oh, you should have
morning
heard me this
show.
morning. Gary goes, "How do you really feel, Mel?" I was
Right.
like a drunken sailor. It
Yeah,
was,
same.
if Alexa is using that algorithm listening in, then I'm probably going to get all these ads for like swearing or something. I don't know.
Mm.
All right.
What do you feel about I said this before, the budget's coming up and the hardcore MAGAs are all pissed off with Mike Johnson and threatening to throw him out as the speaker.
They'll just keep chucking them out.
Yeah.
I
I
didn't see
feel,
Mike.
and I think somebody wrote it, I feel there's a strong possibility that Hakeem Jeffries could be speaker before the next election.
Um, the preacher will be gone.
Mm.
He backpedals on so many things. Mike Johnson is like, oh my goodness.
He's a creeper. Something about him just
Oh,
really creeps me
it's
out.
like, ooh. It's like, ooh. Here's a good observation that
Yeah.
I think we could look at. Um,
Judge let Trump speak to prevent another phony appeal.
Yeah, because
No,
then
I agree, but the judge technically, it's not standard that, um, you know, the person that the case is against speaks in closing arguments. That's not something that's normally given, and he gave him multiple times to actually agree to the terms, and he didn't do it. I agree that he was doing it to make it seem more fair, but why? Because it just turns the whole case into a political rally to get his base all upset. They can continue to threaten judges, and I think Angron just had a bomb threat at his house this morning. It's just crazy. Why even give him that platform to spew his
well,
nonsense?
Trump, I think the judge said he had that Trump had to talk about the stuff on the case, and Trump kind of tried to make it a political platform, but the judge put him in his place.
Mm.
So anyway,
At least it was only for 5 minutes, I guess. But even
right.
still,
He's always got that scowl.
hmm
I think we need
and
Alex Owen to do Donald Trump again.
he's got that scowl. Melania, when are you going to change my diaper?
I'm not going there. Maybe that's why I had a scowl. Stinky pants.
Yeah, well, I think sitting in a soiled diaper doesn't sound very pleasant.
Well, he wouldn't even know the difference. Okay. All righty then. Go ahead.
Will Israel be found to have committed genocide?
I see an international inquiry.
I don't know if they take it quite that far, but I feel like there's very, very harsh words exchanged to Israel to settle things down.
I see this is going to be Netanyahu's downfall. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm pro-Israel, but I'm not pro-Netanyahu.
Yeah. Oh, I agree 100%. And I do see him being out. I hope it's this year.
Here,
and then a two-state solution's coming in. I almost feel like a younger female taking Netanyahu's place.
I keep saying a woman coming in as prime minister of Israel who's going to be like another Golda Meir, who will be very straightforward, honest as the day is long, assertive, won't put up with any BS, but can negotiate, and a diplomat.
People are saying that court is already being held currently. That South Africa brought it to The Hague.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I definitely see a massive investigation into that. I don't know if they'll be charged with genocide, but
well, I kind of got a funny feeling there's going to be this inquiry, and it's not going to look good for Netanyahu.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that.
He'll be charged, not Israel.
We can only hope, right?
Yep, there you go.
Will Fed or state distribution of porn charges be on MTG? She sent naked pics to her voters last year.
If a Democrat had done something like that, they would ask them to resign immediately. They asked Al Franken to resign because of that photograph, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And look at this. I mean, she's sending naked pictures to her voters. I mean, it's amazing. The hypocrisy. My blood pressure goes sky high. The hypocrisy blows me away. I see her out. Yay. And she's gonna lose a lot of money because there's gonna be a lot of lawsuits filed against her.
She's got some charges from January 6th stuff coming up too.
Oh, good. And she'll be.
I do feel like the charges, I'm feeling more federal rather than state.
Okay, good. But I see some state charges too.
Could be.
Oh. Okay, well, this is a medical question, but I like Free Hippie Spirit. I like the name. I would suggest Free Hippie Spirit that you go to the dentist.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I'm not a dentist. But don't let it, it's important that you get dental attention immediately. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Don't let it. don't not do anything, because otherwise then you could lose a tooth. But my feeling is they'll be able to fix it.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Well, at
I'll just
least
say though that we on Thursdays typically don't do personal questions, so um, I don't like doing the back and forth because
I'm
it kind of we get in the flow of the politics and everything else. And
right. Lisa Foster's in the house. Hi,
hey,
Lisa.
Lisa.
Okay. Oh, somebody said they had 18% when they got their mortgage in 1982. I
Wow.
remember those mortgage rates at 18%. Absolutely. Um, Marilyn Monroe said they're in northern Florida and can't comprehend 30 below. I can.
Yeah, it's cold.
All
Everybody's
right.
gonna bundle up, stay inside, do your best to stay warm.
Well, in Chicago, they tell you you don't have skin exposed for long because you get frostbitten pretty
Hmm.
quickly. So we know how to layer our clothes here, In the
Yeah,
wintertime, when it's really cold, it takes forever to get dressed. And then when you get to the office, you got to get there 15 minutes early or 20 minutes early because you got to take all that stuff off.
yeah. And also too, just being careful too with like you know, water lines not freezing, because I had that issue last year when we got a cold front end, making sure that, if you can, or if things aren't insulated properly, even just having your water lines just kind of dripping a little bit so that there's movement, so that it
And
helps it doesn't freeze.
even with the basement, they can freeze. So
Yeah.
make sure that you got your water dripping a little bit. Um, there you go.
We
Uh,
talked about Fani already.
Uh, I see, at some point, once this is over and done, I see her running for another political office. I don't know if it's
Mm.
House or Senate, and she'll win. Um,
Do you feel like it's more state, or do you feel federal?
at some point, federal.
Because I think maybe it's state afterwards,
Okay,
and maybe
well,
Senate, and
all right.
then maybe a federal run later on.
Okay. All righty. Let me take a look here. Here we go. I'm reading the comments too, Kevin. I'm trying to.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I have a bunch starred. Do you think the judge will throw the book at Trump for the way he threw a fit in closing arguments? He did exactly what he was told not to and then walked out. I see him throwing the book at Trump um, because he's guilty and it's been proven. But I do also feel like he's not going to be forthright with it. But I do feel like the judge, getting a little bit of joy of pushing it to Trump for all the hell that he's caused.
Well, the trouble be, I told you don't like me.
He's gonna try to appeal. I don't even think that he'll be able to appeal it. I think the appeals courts will be like, "No, that you don't have grounds to appeal the decision."
That's what I see.
Mhm.
If it goes to appeals court, it's going to be like, nope. And
I
I
don't
don't
think they even have to take it.
right. And I don't know if a civil case like this would go all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States. I don't
I
think so.
don't think so.
I don't think so either. Okay, let's see. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, can I just comment on that one?
I posted it so we could comment on, or start it so we could comment on it.
Okay, you start first, Kevin.
Well, you know what? I always tell people, if something, I do feel things escalating. I don't see World War III, and I don't see us getting to that point. I do think that there is a lot of global tension and escalation with it. But I would just say, you know, I don't listen to what other readers are saying, or I try not to. There's a couple readers that I follow, but if somebody is putting you in that fear space or really kind of lowering you energetically, it's just like watching the news. Don't allow other people to put you in that space. And I think it's so important, especially going into 2024, to really rise above the fear. Use that as like that motivating factor to speak truth to power, but not allowing the fear to consume you, because there's going to be a lot of turmoil going on. But World War III would be the end of all of us, and I don't see that. So
You know, it's like when I had cancer. I said, you can't let the fear get in front of you and hold you back.
yeah.
You've got to you've got to let it get behind you and push you forward.
Hmm.
And if we get hung up in that fear, oh my God, World War III, World War III, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. You know what? It's paralyzing. I won't I won't read on what other people on what other readers
I
predict.
agree.
I do sometimes if we're the same predictions. They get their stuff, I get mine. I do, and here's what I said. I do not see a World War III, not in my lifetime. However, if there is a World War III, you won't have to worry about it because none of us will be alive to worry about it anyway.
Exactly.
What was Einstein said? I don't know how the Third World War will be fought, but the fourth one would be fought with sticks and stones.
Oh, because we destroy ourselves and everything.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I don't see a third world war. I do see escalation of this stuff in the Middle East. But when people, a lot of readers were saying, "Oh, Putin might use nuclear weapons," and we were like, "No, I never saw that." Or if certain countries don't join NATO, he would use nuclear weapons or was thinking about nuclear weapons. Those countries are joining NATO, and he didn't do anything. So I do see this situation in the Middle East escalating, yes. But as far as a world war, that I absolutely do not see.
Yeah. I almost feel like the next World War won't even be, it will be more of like intelligence and hacking, that kind of.
Bingo. The next world war will be fought with machines. It'll be like cyber war. I don't mean like in that movie, where robots are taking over everything. It'll be cyber wars.
Yeah. But it's so important to rise above the fear, keep the faith, because energy shift. But if we keep the faith and we're in a more uplifted vibration, we're just magnifying more positive energy to come in. But I do not see that.
But Michelle, thank you for asking that question. Kevin, can I put this comment up? This is the
Of
best.
course.
This is so cool. I'll let you read it. It's funny.
MTG will turn any straight man gay for a day. Cro-Magnon creatures scares the sex out of people.
Oh my goodness. No middle name. That is a right. You know what? No middle name. For that comment, you get a free half-hour session from me. Call my
Oh, nice.
office. Call my office 847-590-5411 and you got a free half-hour session. That is classic. I love that. That's her new name, Cro-Magnon. How's that?
Right.
Cro-Magnon Margie. I love it.
Yeah, I like that too.
I know we should name call, but I'm gonna, I've got this crazy sense of humor going on tonight.
I think everybody's in that mood, but I think we kind of need a bit of humor and uplifting energy with everything going on,
Well,
right?
laughter is healing, and you know what? A lot of times, everybody don't forget to laugh
Yeah.
because that pushes us forward out of fear. All right. Rosemary says, "I dislike it when you ridicule people's appearances. They can't help what they look like." I don't think we were ridiculing anybody.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
But thanks for the comment. All right.
Hit the thumbs up.
All right.
All
Let's see.
right.
Here we go. Okay.
I have a bunch of questions started. Are you getting the starred ones or are you going to the chat?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Will Georgia Rico be moved to May? I don't know. Does anybody know when it's supposed to happen? I feel like it's spring or
I think I thought, wasn't it, I don't know if it was August, but I keep thinking May or June. Absolutely. That's what I'm picking up.
Yeah, like May's feeling good to me. It's supposed to be August. But is that are some of them having trials early or did they are they I think those ones settled, right? The ones that wanted to have their cases expedited. Yeah, I think it's August.
Right. Meadows is still trying to get his moved over to federal court, but that's not going to happen.
No.
I don't know if we answered this one, but if we have, I don't think we have.
See if Jordan and others will ever be indicted for not answering their subpoenas. I see them in trouble for January 6th stuff, but I don't think specifically the subpoenas.
I see them in trouble, yeah. But they just kind of gave the middle finger to those subpoenas. Hunter Biden didn't. Hunter Biden said, "I'll come," but publicly, "I'll come." So, and if they try to pull anything in court with Hunter Biden, it'll be thrown out of court. They won't.
I don't see the DOJ even
No,
taking charges
they won't.
against him.
All right, here we go.
And then you'll have Republicans saying that that Garland is biased and helping him out because he's Trump's son and causing uproar about that. But they always have something to bitch about, don't they?
Right.
Excuse my language.
No, you can say it. I've heard it before.
Will the government be shut down? Budget January 19th.
I never felt that. If it is, it's very short. But if they do shut it down, it's a nail in their coffin. It's a nail in the coffin of the.
I did feel like in the past, and I feel like it keeps getting kind of pushed, but I wonder if the January 19th gets passed and then there's an uproar in the House again, with people trying to get Johnson out. And then I think there's another budget that they have to pass in February. One of them feels like it's delayed just very shortly, very briefly, but I hope I'm wrong with that. But I do feel like better around the January 19th because I believe they came up with a deal. They just have to vote on it, and I think Democrats will support it.
All right.
All right. Do you think there are other psychics and readers out there that actually are MAGA persuasion? I would find it hard to imagine because his energy is so vile and foul. I do believe that. I think a lot of, yeah, it's very hard because sometimes we have to get out of our own biases because they could influence the energy that we're picking up on. But I absolutely think a lot of them kind of drank the Kool-Aid and a little bit out there. Absolutely. I tend not to watch those readers.
There are some people who say they're light workers and who are readers out there who are MAGA.
Mm-hmm.
And, just like, they just like some doctors are MAGA, some lawyers are MAGA, it doesn't make them bad people, but, it's, you got to be careful not to drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a good question. I like this one.
Do you guys see universal healthcare coming to fruition in the United States? I do feel it, but I feel like it's a while out still. It might be about a decade out, I think.
I see things I see ceilings being put on how much they can charge for drugs and how much they can charge for healthcare insurance. I just talked to somebody in Europe or in Croatia, and I think healthcare insurance is like $100 or $200 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I just went on Medicare, so. But even with that, with everything, I'm going to be paying close to $600 or $700 a month with everything. So.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's crazy.
But I see them bringing those prices down.
I agree. I almost feel like in the Biden second term, like a bit of more money and resources being put into Obamacare. But I do feel in the future, like I said, it feels like a decade out, maybe 12 years out. I do feel like there's definitely a push towards healthcare being provided for everybody that wants it, or for everyone.
I think I'm going to have to go back to the chat, Kevin, because I don't see any more starred here. So, All right. Give me 1 second. I'm scrolling here.
Oh, Hal and Cheeseburg having early trials, but I think that they, that's what I was thinking when I thought of May at first, but I do think August. But they had actually made deals, so.
Well, they did make deals, and they asked for their trials to come to fruition a lot sooner. So
that's what I was thinking when I read the question. But I think it's August.
Well, I like this no middle name. This is really good. Hold on a minute. This is really cool.
Amen. Feed the faith dog and not the fear dog. Keep fear dog skinny. Yeah, absolutely.
That's very well put.
Well, thank you so much for the super sticker, artist. Really appreciate that.
All right. Here we go.
Hi there. Do you both see Jim Jordan will tell all about he knows, so he will be able to go to jail for Trump crimes when he was involved to. I'm sorry, I'm
I think what she's asking is, will Jim Jordan sing, or will he flip and tell everything he knows so he won't have to go to
I see
jail?
Jim Jordan in trouble. I almost feel like they're not going to offer him a deal.
I don't think so either. Mm-mm. Unless he comes forward and says, "Here, here's what I know."
Hmm.
Um, but I don't see them offering him any kind of plea. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I agree. I
Um,
what do you? I feel like the appeals court. I just had some topics since we went through the questions I had started. Sorry if I missed anybody's question. Um, the appeals court, I think, is going to expedite the decision on Trump and presidential immunity and say he does not have it. But I see Trump trying to get everybody from the appeals court to take up the case again. I see them denying it. He'll try taking it to the Supreme Court, and I think that they don't take the case either.
right. I don't.
That's
They're
how
not.
I kind of see. I don't see them taking it, or if they do, they will not rule that he has presidential immunity.
Well, everybody said, like, when the Supreme Court didn't hear the immunity case this time, that they wanted to go through through the lower courts, and they thought that was a win for Trump, but really it wasn't. It was a
Hmm.
win for Smith, because this way, when it goes through all the other courts, if it does get to the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court can say, we're not going to hear it. We agree with the decision of the lower courts, and there you have it. So that whole immunity thing is not going to hold water.
Well, it's kind of BS that he's even able to do that right now because you know the trial hasn't even the trial for January 6th hasn't even started yet. You would bring up your appeals for any decisions afterwards too. Um, if you're going to say that you have presidential immunity, you would bring that fight afterwards. So I don't know why he's able to continue to try to delay things. But I felt with the January 6th things being expedited for the appeals here, and I think the date set at March 4th. I think it's going to be March 4th, or maybe it's a week or two delay, but I feel March it's going to happen.
Okay, this is cute. I love this. Sabrina says Auntie Mel wants to chat tonight. I'm on a roll.
Yes.
Okay. This is a good one. What about loose cannon? Do you think she'll dismiss that case, Kevin, or what do you think?
I see her trying to put up a stink, but I've always felt her being removed from the case. I
So
feel
do
a male judge coming in and taking her place. Timing's not always the best with it, but she's going to continue to try to delay things. And I think Jack Smith is documenting everything, and he's going to take it up to the higher circuit courts to get her removed eventually. I think she's going to just show her bias towards Trump and take it one step too far, and it'll get her off the case.
See, yeah, and you know what? Her career as a judge after this is done.
Hmm.
Done. I gotta, my psychic light bulb just went on, and I don't know what you have to do to remove a federal judge, but I see her sanctioned for misconduct as a judge
Good.
in this case. I really
Good.
do. So, it's obvious she doesn't know what she's doing.
Hmm. You're right. Yeah, she wasn't really qualified for that position to begin with.
Oh, you know what? This is really cool. Sabrina, there, go ahead. This is really neat.
I just wanted to say that it must take a great deal out of all you doing these shows. The energy is so difficult, and having to intuit it must be draining. Thank you both for all you do for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabrina. That was
It
very.
can be draining, especially on some not so great energy that we tap into. Um, but yeah, I think me and Mel and a lot of the other readers in our community really are coming through it at this time to help our collective group. Really trying to stay out of the fear and just helping us all keep the faith.
And sometimes we disagree on predictions and stuff, but that's okay. We do it respectfully,
Hmm.
uh, but we all are coming together to help. You're right, Kevin, to help people step out of the fear.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good question.
Besides poor health, is there anything else that would get the GOP to dump Trump?
Um,
Well,
him and
I
Jay.
I don't see the GOP dumping Trump. I see Donald Trump dumping the GOP and dragging them all to the fiery pits of hell with him and really imploding the party when he goes down.
That brings up a really good question. So for those MAGAs who supported him, because there are a lot of Republicans who don't support Trump,
Mm-hmm.
but for those MAGAs and those people who staunchly supported him, what do you think's going to happen to them because they continue to drink the Trump Kool-Aid? What do you think's going to
I
happen?
do feel like there's a split. I think in the future, and there's going to be a lot continuing to come out on Trump. I think even after he passes away, I think a lot of people are going to have shame for voting for him, or like I was caught up in it all. But I do feel like there is a percentage of the MAGA voters too that are just really hateful, and I kind of feel like, you know, when all this hatred and bigotry isn't tolerated anymore, they kind of just go back into hiding. You know.
I see. This is a good one.
Is the rent in Texas ever going to go down? I think that there's going to be. I do see prices kind of coming down because I do feel like housing prices coming down a little bit next year and into 2025. So I think the rent's going to go down a little bit, but I do see a lot of federal help coming in for homeless or for low income people that need the help with the rent or mortgages, first time buyers. I see a lot of investment in that in Biden's second term.
Well, my response was going to be kind of a comic one in the sense of saying rent's going down in Texas. Yeah, if Abbott stays governor, because everybody's going to move out. There'll be all those empty houses, houses, apartments on the market.
And I do feel too a lot of investments into more housing for homeless, but also really kind of, you know, investing into America so that you know, because a big part of the reason why the houses are so expensive is because there's not enough. You know, the market's so hot.
On demand, right?
Yeah.
I see more houses too coming, being built. All right, here we go.
Boho in Mexico says, I'm loving feisty Kevin tonight. Yeah, I feel a little feisty.
Me too. I'm feeling feisty too. I love it.
All right. Do you think the DOJ is going to look into the new report that the Chinese paid millions to stay in Trump's hotel and maybe other countries? I see it being huge. And I think they said he made 7 or 8 million. He made a lot more money than that, and it's going to come out.
He made more than 7.8 million.
A lot more.
That's what they were able to uncover. And did you notice that some of those MAGA Republicans didn't want that committee to continue to investigate?
Of course not.
But guess what? The committee will continue to investigate and refer it over for investigation. And I don't know if they'll appoint a special prosecutor, but I see a DOJ investigation of that because Trump broke the emoluments clause. He didn't report it and ask the Congress if he could keep that money. So I'm not a lawyer, but right there, that's a criminal act, I think.
Well, me and you have both said, and I feel it coming up before the election, a lot of this dark foreign money being exposed. I think this is an example of it, but I think it gets much bigger too.
Right. Oh, it's that 7.8 million. That was just a little scratch.
Yeah, like just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more coming.
There's going to be so much coming out. I mean, oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway. All right. So do we have time for a few more, or what do you want to do, Kevin?
Yeah, we can do a couple more.
Okay.
Maybe do 2 more questions. I did just star one. I'll pull it up.
All right.
Do you think the middle of road Republicans will just not vote instead of voting for Biden? For me, it feels a bit weird because, like I said, I don't know if Trump's actually. I think he wins the primary.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
You're okay.
Oh, excuse me. My cousin always calls me when I'm doing a YouTube show. Never fails.
You gotta love it, right? I feel, like I said before, I feel like maybe Trump gets the nomination, something takes him out. I feel like regular middle of the road Republicans voting Republican, I feel like it's the MAGAs that aren't voting because they're pissed off about Trump not being on the ballot, or it's part of that implosion in the Republican Party.
I heard something the other day. I forget where I heard it that, a lot of young Hispanics are going to vote for Trump. And I said, I don't
I don't
think
think
so.
so.
I think a lot of these polls that are coming out is misinformation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Putin is behind a lot of that, because I do not see a lot of young Latin voters voting for Trump. That's a no.
Right. Well, I think they were saying even like black men voters are shifting more towards Republican, and I don't see that either.
I don't see that.
Hey,
No.
Danny Shea, nice to see you.
Hi, Danny. How are you? Welcome. All right.
Yes, and I agree with Lisa too. Roe v. Wade being a really big motivating factor to getting independence, and I think some Republicans, but and Democrats out to vote. Women are mad. I see young people mad. I see a lot of people coming out and making their voices heard.
So
Even the threats to democracy, and it's going to continue to elevate with this Republican Party. I kind of feel come election time, the Republican Party has such a stench to it. Nobody wants to touch them. Nobody wants to go near them.
Well, the key is everybody has to get out and vote.
Yeah.
And my guides tell me in 2024, justice will be done. Justice will prevail. So Becky Gilberto's in the house. She goes, thanks, guys, for making my Thursday nights fun. Well, thank you all for making our Thursday nights fun as well.
She makes a good point. We'll end with this. How does that sound? When Trump, well, it's more of a statement, but I can kind of elaborate a little bit more on it. When Trump accuses others of using AI, he should know he and his Russian bots. Yeah, and I do see this is before like the rules and regulations of AI coming in. I do feel like there is some political disturbances of AI kind of taking things that Trump said or Biden said out of content. I do feel like that's a bit of a mess for the election.
Oh, I agree. Yep.
Yeah.
Not here.
But I do feel like because of it, like I said, 2025, I feel like they're gonna go really hard in regulating the AI.
I love these. I love the comments. I'm going to Lisa said Roe v. Wade will get them to turn blue. Yep, you're probably right. Okay. Let me think here. I don't see any more here, Kevin.
Yeah, well, we've been on for a little over an hour, so I think we can end it.
This was a lot of fun.
It's always a lot of fun. I always enjoy our shows together, Mo.
And
I know everybody that watches enjoys it too. So
we can laugh and have a good time. And see, folks, what laughter does, it just gets you out of that fear and pushes you forward.
Right. Hopefully we didn't offend too many people tonight.
I don't think we offended anybody.
I don't think so. Except
for Marjorie Taylor Greene. But she's offensive herself.
Right.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, in my opinion, is very ugly on the inside.
She's uglier on the inside than she is on the outside, and she's not very nice to look at on the outside either.
If she were nice on the inside and a genuinely nice person, she wouldn't be ugly. But she's so vile on the inside and so full of hate and bigotry and will do anything to get attention, like showing nude pictures of somebody. If anybody else did that in the House, they would be asked to resign. I said this earlier. And that is just vile. Not because there's anything wrong with a nude human body, but she did it to embarrass Hunter Biden. If somebody did that to her, if that shoe were on the other foot, let's see how quick she would scream foul play. But she's going to be called to task for what she's doing. And I would not want to have to repay her karma.
That's what I was going to say as you were talking. I feel karma's going to creep in sooner rather than later, and it's not going to be pretty for MTG.
Absolutely will. I mean, she's ugly on the inside. And, there's just no reason for that venom and that vitriol. It's just not, it shouldn't be tolerated.
I agree.
So,
all right.
I'm done with my rant.
Oh, you're good. Everybody's enjoying it. I think the energy's a little fiery tonight.
It
So,
is. Yay.
well, we're both fire signs too, so I'm not normally fiery, but every now and then get a little
Kevin
worked
is
up.
stoked, you all. So
Well,
much.
next week, your channel, Mel,
My channel.
and please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe to both of our channels. If you'd like a reading or a Reiki session with me, I'm booking out into February, but you can send me an email at kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com. And I have that information and Mel's information in the description box. But how do they get a hold of you, Mel?
They can call my office, 847-590-5411. Again, 847-590-5411. Or go to my website, www.meldoerr.com. Quick infomercial. I do have openings on my Africa tour. I gave the first dibs on the tour to people who'd gone to Africa last year. So if you're interested, call my office because I've only got room for 20 people. So,
Nice.
yep, it's
It's
going
going
to
to be
be.
another amazing trip. I feel like it's going to be beautiful. There's going to be so much things to see. Did you say that you're I think I saw you were on a channel you were talking about seeing the water buffaloes migrating
The
past
wildebeest. The
the
wildebeest.
wildebeest. Yeah.
There's an optional hot air balloon ride. That's everything's covered in the price of this trip, except for the optional hot air balloon ride on the Serengeti.
Yeah.
But so we'll be there during the wildebeest migration,
That sounds
and
awesome.
it's supposed to be incredible. And then we'll go into this humongous caldera. I don't know, it's miles across on a super volcano, um, and that's where the endangered black rhinos live.
Oh, okay.
And one of the places we live, the giraffes just saunter right into the camp. And so it's going to be really cool.
It's going to be a wonderful time.
We won't see gorillas or chimpanzees this time, but we'll see, zebras, which we didn't see before, giraffe, rhino, lions, leopards, the whole spiel. So it's going to be exciting. The places we're going to stay are amazing.
Clary says, "Will you be posting from Africa?" Normally you do it afterwards, but you always come and show and tell after your trips with all the awesome pictures.
I posted afterwards because when you're there, you're so busy getting pictures and doing this and doing that. And then when you come home, it's
You
time.
want to enjoy it too, and you want to be present in the moment and really experience it.
And the problem there is, the places we'll be staying, many of them have internet, but sometimes the connections,
Hmm.
like if you're out in the countryside where there's no electricity, there's no running water, there's no refrigeration. I mean, we had all of that,
Hmm.
but good luck getting an internet connection. Sometimes
Right.
cell phone connections are hard. So,
Yeah, I bet.
anyway.
Yeah, I think you're going to have an amazing trip, and I think you're going to get pretty close to what you need. And you said 20 people, so
Thanks, Kevin. So if you're interested, guys, call my office, 847-590-5411. Love to have you come along. I will guarantee you one thing. It is a life-changing trip, and you'll have the time of your life.
yeah.
So,
All right, everyone. I'm sure me and Mel will have a lot of exciting things to read on next Thursday, in between our shows. But I would just say, we kind of talked about it before. All the scary stuff on the world, just do your best to kind of tune out of that. Do things that lift you up, laughing, things that you love, having friends with friends, that laughter, just anything that feels really good for you whenever you feel like, the world's kind of a little bit chaotic. Just do your best on raising your vibrations.
and ham ginger ale.
Yeah. You can add a little bit of something to it. I don't know if it will raise the vibrations, but you might distract yourself a little
There
bit.
you go.
All right, everyone. Sending you a lot of love and see y'all real soon.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.